Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited?
Hey everyone, it's Jillian Acho. Let's jump right into it. In the spray bottle, I have some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to rub across my hairline and make sure that's nice and clean. And I'm putting on a cap. I actually got these caps from Amazon. I got like a huge 50-pack of them. I love it because it's actually Darkskin friendly. I'm cutting behind my ears to be able to pull it out and through. I hate when the hole is too far forward and it doesn't come down to like your sideburns. Here I'm using lace glue to get like a longer install, but honestly you don't need to use lace glue. Hairspray works just fine. Here I'm just using an edge brush, edge comb or whatever to rub it in. I'm about to start blow drying. I actually like using this Aussie spray a lot. Here is a new technique I like doing when it comes to cutting my lace off. I like cutting a hole in it so I can keep the elastic band, the elastic inside the cap together, and then just pulling it behind my ears. You can see this way I don't have to sew it on in the back and it stays pretty sturdy. I'm gonna cut around the extra, lift up a little bit. This hurts a lot because I'm like peeling my skin. It feels like I'm peeling my skin. I'm going back in and just getting a little bit of it and I'm pulling that back down. I'm just using this random foundation. Now I'm back in again, rubbing the alcohol. Tell me what you say. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends. Here is Destiny. This is an old wig I had. I used the bundles from another one, and this is an old frontal. I'm using this E-band lace tint to tint the lace. After I wash it, like, to remember about it is make sure you put hairspray on it or blow dry it for a good while because it's oil based and that kind of makes it hard for the lace glue to stick on. When it comes to gluing down my wigs, I usually do the whole thing in the whole hairline in one part because I'm too lazy or I'm impatient. I usually just do it in one because I'm impatient, but now I wanted this one to last a long time and I wanted to be careful and take my time, so I did it in sections. Do 3 thin layers. I like to spread it out and just keep like rubbing until it gets clear, and then blow drying for a little bit. It kind of speeds it up. It's a little hack, time saver. You was spitting so unoriginal, but it was you, so I was with it. Then I tell you the truth, wish we never did it, cause I usually do stick to the business, but you came out the blue, then you just come back in with a second, and we do that over and over again. I hope you guys enjoy watching me install the rest of this wig, and I will check back in with you guys in a little bit to do the little talk through when I'm doing my makeup. One thing I would like to mention is that E-band spray, lace adhesive spray, is strong. That girl got grip. One spray, don't go heavy-handed with that, and then you'll leave your edges crunchy. It'll feel like a cardboard on your head. So make sure when you're using that spray, very gentle, very, very gentle. And also don't leave the elastic band on. I left it on the entire time I was doing my makeup
Yeah, it's not that deep, because then your elastic band will stick to it, or whatever you're tying onto it. So just put on for a little bit and let it air dry.
You know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited? Then just change my mind like that. Please don't take this personal. But you ain't shit and you weren't special till I made you so. You better act like you know that I've been through worse than you. I just can't keep running away. But I don't need you. 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 But I want you. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. But I just lost my hope. Everybody's like he's no item. Please don't like him. He don't wife him. He one item. I never listen, no. I should've figured though. All that shit you was spitting so unoriginal. But it was you, so I was with it. Then to tell you the truth, wish we never did it. Cause I usually do, stick to the business. But you came out the blue, and then you just flipped it. Goddamn, baby, my mind's blown. Be forgetting you live in a different time zone. Think I know what this is, it's just the time's wrong. Yeah, I know what you did, but baby, I'm grown. And my love is patient and kind of shit. This is where we could build, do different types of shit. You was really the realest, wouldn't be fighting it. I think your pride is just in the way. Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited? Then just change my mind like that. Please don't take this personal. But you ain't shit and you weren't special till I made you so. You better act like you know that I've been through worse than you. I just can't keep running away. But I don't need you. 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 But I want you. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. I don't mean to. But
So we're gonna let that melt for a little bit and let's get into this lovely little girl chat. Welcome back to my channel. Let's start with some primer. I already moisturized my face off camera. I like this e.l.f. Power Grip. It is kind of like the Hydro Grip dupe. So yeah, this girl chat, let's just talk about, I wanted to talk about loss of friends, toxic friends, unhealthy relationships that we have. I'll start with myself. Year 2023 tried me. That TikTok that you see, like you check in with God to see if he's gonna try to make you one of the strong soldiers next year. It ain't me. It ain't me, bro. I can't fight. I'm not going to war again. I lost friends. I walked away from friends, and I've had friends walk out of my life this year. Let's start with the friends that I've walked away from. My gut intuition always tells me, yeah, that I'm a little off with this. This is a loose powder I'm using from Banana. No, it's not Banana. It's Black Radiance primer. I put on a loose powder that I don't really care about to set it. This helps keep your foundation on, your makeup on all day. Skin looking great. I got like a huge patch right here. Backstory. The most valuable relationship I had throughout my life was always my friends. Over my family, over boys, relationships, it was my friends. I put them above everything. But as I've grown up, I've kind of, especially on my healing journey, I've realized that a lot of the friends that I have weren't the healthiest, because we were all like trauma bonded. If you didn't go through some shit, you probably weren't one of my friends growing up. My face looks crazy right now. Trust the process, bro. There's a lot of pressure in our friendship to like show up for each other. gave each other like interventions. They gave me an intervention. Oh, you're changing a lot as I joined sports or something. And also, since I didn't really have many other relationships, healthy relationships with family or guys or anything, romantic relationships, that was all the pressure was over there. A lot of my self-worth came from my friend group. Like the validation that you needed as a human was from them. Nothing else seemed to matter as much as what my friends thought of me, if that makes sense. And that can become unhealthy if you don't have any self-identity or you don't have any other people telling you. This is a bunch of kids dealing with the same trauma bond, your little trauma circle that you had growing up. My friends needing me in certain spaces, I'd be like, okay, yes. And I equated a lot of that to love. Like, oh yeah, my friends love me, when you're actually kind of a people pleaser and a doormat. And you equate your self-worth to being needed. If somebody can turn to me if they need something, sounds really endearing, and I always say like I like helping people. Like, oh yeah, such a great heart, you like helping people. No, I equate a lot of my self-worth is to being dependable and something that you can count on, and it's not necessarily having that reciprocated. It's really depleting. That's the word, I'm the good word for it. It's depleting. Most relationships with other people, as I grew with relationships with other people, I thought a lot of it, even like coworkers or like a workspace or your boss, like, oh, you think that you're such a great employee because you're always there when somebody needs you. Even when it comes to the expense of yourself, or you don't have any boundaries. My relationships, I thought, mattered because they needed me, not because they cared about me. One thing that they don't tell you is that since you are a new person, you reevaluate all these relationships you have with everybody around you. And I lost a lot of friends in that process. A lot of them, I remember one friend thought that my boundaries were a personal attack to her. The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart. Boundaries are biblical, especially with like my family too. It was like, especially like, oh, why can't you do this? Why can't you do this when you always do this, or you always are the one that does this. You're always like a certain thing, like, oh, I would never have done that. It's like, you should be proud of somebody that was exhausted from being the one that you could always count on and never had anybody to count on. Back to the friend thing. With that little background tidbit about me, never the bond or any reciprocation or any like relationship. It was cool, you know, there's always perks, you can always see the good side of everybody, but the relationships weren't always necessarily balanced. And the whole point of this is kind of like Shanquilla's. Well, I wanted to talk about losing friends because that was like huge for this year. That was the theme for 2022. How many friends can walk out of your life, Trina? When Shanquilla, she passed away, if you don't know. She was this hairstylist that went on like a trip to Mexico with her friends, and then she got beat up by one of the friends that came on the trip with her, quote unquote friends, and she ended up dying. They filmed it, and other girls in the group too filmed it, and they went back to America and like told her parents that, oh no, she just like had alcohol poisoning on the trip. Like, wow, it was really sad. But I think that's really traumatic. It's really disgusting, a lot how you can be around somebody and they have ill intentions towards you. Me and my friends, we went on a trip to Vegas for this girl's birthday, and I left a day early because I had a photo shoot the next morning. I was late for that, missed my flight. I was so mad. Still wasn't there like as long as the rest of the girls were. And these two girls had gotten into it, and they got into a fight. One girl, her health was in poor condition. She wasn't even like able to like fight back as best as she could. And I thought it was just really messed up that I just always said, it was like, you're fighting a disabled person. But she wasn't actually disabled, but like, you knew she wasn't in like at full health to be able to fight back. I think a lot of our friendships is people that we grew up with. A lot of the familiarity or like the history that you have with people is like hard for you to walk away. But I know personally for me, if I have a history with you, it's hard for me to just walk away from the friendship. Like I look at the best version of the person and try to be like, oh, this is okay. Oh, and also not vocalizing my needs and wants in friendships and relationships make it really hard to. Surprisingly, not with like guys. It's not bad. Like I think I'll push myself a lot, but I think this being in the state of a relationship is already really uncomfortable for me. So I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, I'm already at my wit's end. So like, yeah, you can do this or do that, or I need this. I am a terrible storyteller. I am so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. It's hard to multitask. Like, I'm trying to put my face on, and I'm trying to tell you guys a story that's really vulnerable and dramatic, and like hard to talk about. I'm trying to figure out what kind of look I want. I want like a holiday glam soft look. So they got into a fight, and I'm just like, damn, bro, you're on a trip trying to have fun with folks, and then you end up getting beat up. It wasn't a surprise that something like that could happen, because we kind of know the personalities of each other. We kind of adapt to the toxic behaviors that we see in the people around us, and kind of feel like we're obligated to stay, or like see it through for some reason, or it has to be really, really bad for you to walk away and say, yeah, this person isn't really serving me. And that Shanquillo story kind of was just like, yo, if I needed any more reason to keep to the minimal friend group that I have, I am very strict when it comes to my friends. And if I see any like questionable behavior or like something that feels a little off, I'm like, I like pull away right away, which is okay. It's not the healthiest, because it's like, maybe I owe the person a conversation. I rarely ever do. I've gotten a lot really, really lonely this year when walking away from a lot of different friends and thinking like, hey, yeah, bro. And then you see them post online and you're like, oh, I miss my friends. And you're like, are they really your friends though? Do they really got your back? I do want to put myself out there and make more quality friendships. So it's kind of nice to see the people that you do have in your corner when you feel like you don't, and you feel like you're lonely because of all that. You've kind of focused on all the friends that you've lost instead of who you have, and reminding yourself of the decision that you made to be like, hey, this person doesn't support and love you as much as you support and love yourself. And if I had a conversation with them, it could be like changed, or like they could fix their behavior. But a lot of times I just kind of bottle it up and keep it inside. And I know it's not healthy. I know it's not healthy. I know. But I struggle with vulnerability and talking about my feelings a lot. And I get frustrated. And then by the time I do say something, I'm just like blowing up for the sake of getting it out, not even for any constructive criticism or any type of like improving of a relationship. Like, I'm just saying this because it is what it is at this point. You know, I've just kind of accepted it. Like, this is kind of my proclamation at this point. There's no opening to like room for understanding. I think the only doubt I have is that maybe I owed them a conversation and talk to them before I walked away. And a lot of people gaslight and manipulate you and try and they get defensive. They don't even hear you out. They don't even care what you have to say. And because of like how I said, like me and my friends growing up were like the trauma bond and trauma circle. If you haven't done your healing and your part, nothing that you say is gonna resonate to them. Nothing that you're gonna say, the accountability factor is not gonna get through. And it's really sad. It's really hard. It's like they never healing and working on yourself is becoming healing your heart and rewiring your brain. You end up losing a lot. Like, you're a completely different person. Like, you're not the person that they were like, oh, like Jay-Z always said, oh, what did he say? It's like people are like, oh, why did you change? Why are you like this? I remember one friend in particular I lost because I gained my confidence. Jay-Z quote, he's like, oh, wow, you changed. Oh, whatever. He's like, and he's like, oh, I didn't work this hard to stay the same. Healing, brain rewiring, mental health. I ain't do it to stay the same. I ain't do it to stay the same. There's one friend I remember growing up. She'd make these little digs or she'd make these little comments. I'm like, I wasn't really that friendly, you know. A lot of the times I learned after the fact, like, hey, that person didn't really have your best interests at heart, or they had their own battles that they were dealing with, and you were kind of the punching bag. All love, sis, you know, but I just can't be around that no more. Growing up, as I played small, and it made a lot of people around me very comfortable, and it's very easy to digest. Playing small, you gotta be thinking big.
Bitch, you thinking small. We need to be thinking big. You need to be thinking big, bitch. You need to be thinking big, bitch.
That's the ending of one friendship. You know, you outgrow. Losing that friend was kind of hard because we've been friends for so long that weren't the most supportive, or they didn't know how to be a good friend to you in that time. And you are I felt like the sidekick a lot, and I don't think I was ever encouraged or supported. Not entirely. There were some times where she showed up for me more than anybody else did. There's got to be some good times. So I'll give you one example, or like two. there was times where I'd be wearing something, or I'd be like really happy about my outfit or something, and she'd be like, oh, I hate my outfit. It's like, oh, why do you look so much better than me? Like, can we trade outfits? Or can you wear something mine? Kiddingly, I'd be like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if it's just like the people pleaser side, or also the, yo, I'm confident. But it's literally giving the clothes off my back to the person to make them feel better about themselves. There was another instance where I remember back in the day, you know, if an Instagram picture went viral, got more than like 100 likes, you was big pimping. So I had a picture that I posted. I was wearing like this black dress, and I posted it, and then like boom, it was like blew up, and I think I got somewhere close to, I think a little over 100 likes, and then I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I was like, this is so amazing. And I'm not really the best at bragging about myself, so I was just like, whoa, I was just like shocked, and not like, oh my god, I'm that girl, which you are, we all are. She's like, oh, she's like, I don't understand why it's doing so well. Like, I don't know how you got all those likes, or like, what's going on here? And I was like, what do you mean it's not doing so well? She's like, well, look at this picture. She's like, first of all, something about your hair is like, oh, and your belly's hanging out. Like, you have a pooch over here. It's like, I don't understand why you got so many likes on this picture. And this is my best friend. I think a lot of it, we always just equate it to like tough love, where like the more we can be honest with each other when the rest of the world isn't. I don't think that was the case. But then this year also, my friend passed away. A good majority of us were aware that she was struggling. Not sure how to, or I know personally for me, it was kind of something that I struggled with. Ooh, that's a lot. That's something that I struggled with early on, like back in 2010. Just like mental health episodes, and I didn't know how to be there for somebody else, and I was kind of scared too. I was like crippled by fear, like, it's kind of hard to see somebody sick or struggling, especially with something that you were. And I don't know why a lot of times I think it's contagious. If like you were going through something like that, and it would spark something back in me. I don't know. I was terrified, and I regretted that a lot for this summer, thinking about like, yo, what could you have done better? They always tell you in the grieving process, you always blame yourself and everything, but legit, even if knowing that you always blame yourself and going to your therapy and he tells you always blame, you're gonna feel like you're gonna blame yourself, it doesn't stop you from blaming yourself. And it's important to love people and give them their flowers while they're here and cherish them. And I need to stop questioning my gut feeling, but I think I need to vocalize what my gut feeling is, because sometimes I just like walk away from a friend and not give them a conversation. I had this friend of a friend. We weren't even like close, we weren't even personal friends, but she was going through something, and we were like, she was staying with me for a while, and she had an issue with me braiding her hair, like how much I charged her. She was like, oh, it was convenient, you know, we're in the same house, it shouldn't have been that much. She never vocalized this till after the fact. She walked around the house like with the stank attitude the whole time. Mind you, she was staying in my house for free, like in between her lease or whatever. The hardest part of that one was like, you didn't care enough about our friendship to like have a conversation about this. But I know sometimes you can be blinded with anger or like shock or whatever it may be. And you gotta let the love that you have for the person shine, be stronger than the fear that you have or the non-confrontational avoid you have. If they matter at all to you. You know, maybe I didn't really matter enough to her, because I did say she was a friend of a friend. So losing a friend, like physically, no longer on this earth, was hard. And then losing another childhood friend too, this summer, that was really hard. It was really confusing. It was like a whirlwind of emotions. But the hardest part about that is like, she decided that I wasn't enough of a friend, so she walked away. But I had that same feeling for a while, and I didn't vocalize it. You know, there's a same habit I do. I distance myself from people and just hope things work out. We can revisit or have the conversation on better terms. We never did. I was just like, who does she think she is, deciding to walk away. It's been an interesting year losing friends. This isn't just this year. I think the trajectory of how I spent my life healing from everything I've gone through is insane when I'm still around the environment of people. You can see it in relation to the people that I'm around now. It's like, damn, the emotional intelligence is on 12. And I did make a new friend. She's not a new friend. I've known her for a while, but we've got a lot closer this summer. And she's a psychologist. She's a therapist. So that's like, she's on my level and she kind of pushes me and I'm allowed, I guess it's not that I'm allowed to, but I am able to practice more vulnerability in a space that is nurturing and welcoming, which I love. Shouts to you, Kai. Okay, so now I'm about to put on some eyeliner and put on my lashes. Never spent that much time doing my eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna take off this. So I don't even know where I was at. I'm putting on foundation now. The friend of a friend that like stayed in my house with me for a while and was upset about like a price I charged her for braids, but never told me about it, just had a stank attitude until she like moved out. But she was a friend of a friend, so I guess technically she didn't really owe me much, but she was still, I still saw her as a friend. So then, you know, it was hard for me to differentiate between an actual friend and somebody who is just around with really close friends that feel like family. I know that it was difficult for her, especially it was difficult for her to respect my boundaries, and because she herself didn't honor her own, she didn't have any boundaries to honor herself. So it looked like an attack when somebody's like, oh, you need to do this, or like, I don't appreciate when you do this. And it's like, oh, why are you acting like that? You're not being a good friend. I would do this for you, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not the case. I need you to be communicative and let me know ahead of time so I can decide this instead of being forced into a decision. That comes back to the trauma circle growing up together, where unless they've spent as much time healing as I have, or rewiring your brain or learning how healthy habits, it's not gonna work as well. It's not gonna go over well. Beginning of this year, I went to brunch with my mom, and I was able to just like vocalize all the things, and I kind of was just getting off my chest. I had no chance that she'd actually understand where I was coming from. But because, you know, immigrant parents, their like emotional understanding is very limited, so it's hard to relate. That's a big struggle on its own. But she was able to take accountability for some stuff. What I was talking about with my mom, I was just like venting at that point. I had no hope that she'd be able to understand or take accountability, you know, immigrant parents. But somehow she did. I think she was able to see the consequences of it, I don't know, face on, and also I guess a parent's love is maybe stronger. And it kind of like the force that we told her, like, hey bro, I gotta figure this out, gotta get it together. And I appreciate that, especially with all the PTSD and trauma that she has from her own life. When you get older, you realize that your parents are people. Your parent are in relation to yourself. Friends not being able to honor your boundaries, and that's just them not being able to, and serving you, and it's never really personal. It's sad. I always wish them well. That one was a hard friendship to lose, because even though there was a lot going on in her life, she was always like the greatest best friend I've ever had. She was like, laugh together, cry together, tell each other everything. Like, it's hard to find a balance of friendship that is like serious and fun at the same time, and that's how it was. That original trauma circle, none of those people I'm friends with anymore. What else can I talk about? There was I had a mental health episode. I've had many mental health episodes in early 2010, and it's hard for me to gauge what's real and what isn't. Well, it's not hard for me, but it's like I always need validation and affirmation that what I'm thinking is real or serious. And I have a really, really strong intuition. I have really strong gut, you know, the gut feelings and of whatnot. But I like some sort of affirmation from like either a song. I listen to a lot of music, a song, or from another person or somebody else saying it, or just a confession. You know, like when cops are like, "Oh, we need a confession," even though they have like piles of evidence. I always like a confession. One thing that was upsetting is like me choosing to walk away from somebody because of honoring my boundaries, but I'm witnessing other people being okay and comfortable being friends with them. And I'm like, why? How are you okay with this? Like, why are you letting this slide? Keep in mind, Juliana, not everybody has the same boundaries as you. Boundaries are very personal. But I had a conversation with this girl, and she said, yeah, I don't really know. Something about dependability. And I was like, yikes. Like, you're around these folks all the time. Everybody, a lot of times people make me feel bad because I'm not the one that wants to, I need a guest list and itinerary of who's all going to be there. Especially if it's like an intimate thing. If it's like a big club thing or like whatever, it doesn't really matter. I don't care. I can take care of myself. But honestly, with the Shankwell thing, be careful. I'm always like very intentional who I am. As an empath too, I absorb a lot of their energy, or like I can feel off of them. Just uncomfortably around certain people, or like people aren't like overjoyed or excited to be around you. I can feel it. They'll be like, Selena, man, it's always so difficult. Like, it's got to be your way or the highway. I'm like, nah. Like, how you're comfortable being around this person is beyond me. Excusable behaviors. But also, a lot of times, with the rose-colored glasses I see my friends are, I didn't see those times where they were falling short as a person or a friend, and that's why they're excusing these behaviors. A lot of times the behaviors we excuse in other people is because we personally are okay doing it. Yep. Or we also don't feel like we deserve better. Heavy on the we are doing it though. Like, we're also doing it with like our parents. If we say like, oh, what our parents did wasn't abuse, or what our parents, this wasn't traumatic, or blah blah, you a pussy. And it's actually like, no, you think it's okay. And the scary part about that is you're gonna pass it on to your children. That's what you call a generational curse right there. So I was not comfortable being around that. But I think one conversation I had with somebody who was comfortable being around people like that, they were just venting about like, it's hard, like, I don't know who I can depend on or something. I'm like, you're around folks every day. And I'm over here lonely, chilling on my phone, watching all the turn up. Again, they're not your friends. They cool, they acquaintances, but they're not the type of friend that you need. I hold my friends, yeah, that's a strong contour. I hold my friends to a high regard. And I would hope that they would hold me to a high regard, to high expectations for me. And I know that pressure can be hard on some folks. They can't handle, they can't hang. And it's okay. Ah, the contour 8! Another friend we outgrew each other. No hard feelings. And it's hard to accept. Two of friends I had like that. Just outgrowing each other, got married, had kids, did whatever, or just had kids. And it's like, yeah, our paths don't really link up anymore. And it's unfortunate. Because, I could be a mom friend too. I love my friends with kids. I think I was talking about the reassurance thing. I like reassurance in knowing that I made the right decision. Oh, because of the mental health episodes I had in 2010, I'll talk about that in another video. It's coming. I need reassurance that the decisions I make are like true, or like the feelings I have are true, which is kind of weird. It's kind of messed up. I'm working on that. It's on back burner, but I'm working on it. But what I was getting at is that I like the validation, or like the eureka moment of like what I'm thinking or what I'm saying is not crazy, and it's like valid. Like, you deserve to have friends that care about you as much as you care about them. You deserve to be as picky as a friend as you want, if you're going to be that kind of friend for them. Like, why not? Why not take a crazy chance? But in the meantime, it's kind of hard because you're like, oh, why am I like walking away from this? But my friends are so comfortable still having this type of person in their life. I think it's a little more obvious when a girl wants a guy around, or just something just for the sake of having a guy around, or tolerates abuse or getting cheated on or they're afraid of being lonely. That's a little more easier to tell. But somebody excusing a friend's poor behavior or staying with a friend, it's kind of hard. It's like, why? It's a little confusing. It's not as like black and white. Like, why are they okay having this type of friend? So that's kind of how it was with me. That's my little realization. I'm not done yet. Let me not get too excited. Listen to your gut feeling and speak even if it's uncomfortable. I read a quote once that said, write until you surprise yourself. and I've done that a lot. Sometimes when I'm talking to my old ting, my little yeah, I would just be talking and then start talking about certain scenarios that I didn't know happened, or I didn't know I was feeling, or why I did something, which I thought was cool. And I was hoping that in this video I would have some sort of eureka or like haha moment, but these are all thoughts I've already had. I've already grown to accept a while ago, so it's nothing new. I saw this black girl do a makeup and she put white under her eye. The way that black girl, that dark-skinned girl ate, I'm like, yeah, I need to try that. I need some blush. What was I thinking? I'm gonna use a pink blush. I just use eyeshadow as blush, so it's the same thing. I'm gonna line my lips with this tried and true. I want like a dark, deep fall color.
Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say. You said
There we
that
go.
you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one.
The All Urban Decay All Nighter, I'll say this once and I'll say it again, is the best setting spray ever. The finish makes you look pretty. Makes you look pretty. Like all that. I don't know what it is. It's not like matte or gooey or whatever. It's like skin that's like beautiful, natural. It's like, maybe it's Maybelline. A lot of growth and learning in that. And I think people minimize friendships. I guess society somehow does, where you think of a friend as just a friend, or like just a placeholder until you find your husband, or until you make your own family. Like, these folks ain't gonna be here for the rest of your life. For the most part, I think like my friends will be here for the rest of my life. I think I want to believe that I'm done like evolving to like such an extreme state where it's not gonna be like a big black and white difference between the younger me and older me and the younger me's friends and older me's friends. I went for like a 90s style. Can you see?
Patient and kind of shit. This is where we can build, do different types of shit. You was really the realest, wouldn't be fighting it. I think your pride is just in the way. Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited? Just change my mind like that. Please don't take this.
So that is the finished product. Oh. Oh, I ate this. I ate this look. Oh my god. I look like a 90s bombshell, a 90s baddie, a 90s baby vixen right there. I think my takeaway so far is that it has been hard adjusting to walking away from certain friendships and wondering if you made the right choice or not. They say even if you make the right decision, it still hurts. You're still gonna question it. But remember what Drake said? He's like, fake friends, right or wrong, answers on the mirror for me. What was his other line? He said, lately I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, they sound like a fair trade to me. Don't really have to, no, petty patty. Important thing is like friends come and go, and I don't know why it feels so traumatic for me, but Well, also because I put my friendship put friendships in the past in such a high regard. My biggest takeaway is that let things come and go, and vocalize how you feel more often. Allow people to step up in your life, because sometimes you don't want to say because you're avoiding hearing some like god awful truths that you are ready to hear. It's gonna come out one way or another, so you avoiding it doesn't really help, and it makes you feel like an insincere person because they don't get the full best part version of chili. Make sure you check your circle, keep it tight, because if we lost and ain't no switching up. I'm really loving this hair in this color. Hope you guys liked it too. A TikTok on how I cut and colored and did everything, the process of how I did this. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. If you like this girl chats like this or little get ready with me's, please let me know. Comment down below. Please join the fam. We hit 300 subscribers this year, and then we hit 400 subscribers this year. I'm trying to get that K, you know, trying to hit 1K, 1,000 subscribers soon, very soon. I wanted to hit it before the end of the year, but we'll see. If not, hopefully before my birthday. That's just January. The Vlogmas is coming, so I'm gonna leave right here at the contact video. Vlogmas every day. I'm just gonna close out the video and say, please join the fam. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want to see how I made this wig, I have a how to make a wig video. It will be linked up in the cards. And also, this specific unit that I made, Destiny, her name is going to be on a TikTok down below. I'll have the link for the TikTok down underneath. That's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. It's Chelina Cho, the Sudani mommy. Bye guys.
I don't mean to, I don't mean to.